What's going on, everybody? It's your boy DG. We're back. Thank you for joining me. By the way, while you're here, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. Shout out to Mike S. for leaving the comment of letting everyone know how powerful meditation has been in his life. Mike S., we appreciate you, man. We love you. Keep going and keep moving upward and inward. Are you wondering why it's so important for us to heal our inner child? We keep hearing like, oh, do shadow work. Even myself, I've been proclaiming how important it is for you to reconcile this inner child. Why though? I was that kid growing up when someone said, hey, the sky is blue. I wanted to be like, okay, why is it blue? Will it always be blue? How did it get to be blue? This is the same thing that I do now. Why is it so important that we heal our inner child? I'm gonna go ahead and break down why it is everything for you to start to reconcile this inner child and then what happens when you do. All right, let's go ahead and jump into it. So here's what happened. We've talked about this inner child, this part of you that is literally frozen in space and time within your nervous system. You have a traumatic event that happens, let's say when you're 10 years old. Let's just say your coach tells you, Billy, you'll never be anything when you grow up. And you remember that at the age of 10. You remember how you felt. You can remember the smell of the room. You remember all parts of that experience. It literally freezes a block of ice inside of your nervous system, and now it's just waiting to unthaw. It's waiting to get out. So now maybe somebody at work may say, I don't know if you can do this. And it triggers that block of ice, and now you feel this heaviness of that little 10-year-old way back when you were a kid. This is your inner child. So here's what we have to understand. Your inner child is the part of you that lived from its imagination. I'm gonna go ahead and let that marinate for you. See, what most of us do now is we start doing this thing called being an adult. And we take our imagination and we put it up on the shelf and it starts to gather dust, and we never use the one thing in this universe that has created this entire physical universe. It was the imagination. This is the divinity within you. This is the I am. And every time that you proclaimed I am, that was you using your imagination and affirming that you were that. So your inner child was literally the vessel. It was the vehicle that was going to be used for you to manifest your reality. So if we look at children today, I have an 8-year-old daughter, and all she does is use her imagination. She has not quite developed this part of her mind called reason or logic. She doesn't operate off that. So this was why having faith was going to be everything for you to create the reality that you wanted. Because your faith and your imagination muscle are going to be directly connected to each other. If I have a weak imagination muscle, I won't have faith in believing that I can be something more than I am right now. This is the key. We need to get back to living from our imagination as if it was already completed. So let's just say you want to be a millionaire. That means you would have to use your imagination, sit and visualize and think about how great it would be, what you'd be able to do, who you would be able to help, what it would do for your family. And then here's the most important part. You had to feel that emotion. You had to feel the energy of you have already completed it. So this is the thing about the imagination. This is the thing about our inner child. It lived from the end result at the beginning. Let me go ahead and say that one more time for the people in the back. You had to live from the end result at the beginning. So it's already completed. Only the child had the ability to do this. So every time you go back and heal this part of your life, every time you reconcile this child, what happens is you increase your muscle of your imagination and you increase your muscle of awareness. And then as we increase our muscle of awareness, we increase our self-worth. And now that we've increased our self-worth, it gives our imagination room to start thinking outside of this quote-unquote box. We all have this power inside of us. So I'm challenging you right now to take at least 20 minutes a day to live from your imagination. Meaning when you walk through a room, when you walk into the bathroom, or maybe when you walk into work, you're going to carry yourself internally as if you were the version of you that you were looking to manifest. As always, make sure you hit like, make sure you hit subscribe. You can check out my latest podcast where I really dive into this and how you do this. Spotify, Apple Music. It's called the Pathway to Your Results podcast. Make sure you go ahead and hit subscribe there, download the latest episode, and we'll check you out. Until then, be good.